took 10 years to push them back, but we did. What was once a prosperous river trade, the Mississippi, is now the front line. The eastern states supply the river states, and what's left of the UA live out their meager days self-policing. What is the West hiding? Nobody really knows for sure. But we're alive. And this is the new frontier.
Welcome back to another episode of We're Alive. Our Heisenburg team is still alive and kicking. Although not a little worse for wear on some of you. So
A little toasty, yeah.
Builds character.
and teeth. Teeth don't grow back, unfortunately, Kent. It's true.
Like souls. You can't-
It's like you can't.
Can't fix souls or teeth, but my hip's kind of damaged.
I feel like we just wrapped up with the Heisenburg Bluffs here. You've basically got a loose alliance, essentially, with this district. They're looking for something, hoping that you can provide it, and that is some notes and expertise which has been taken away from them.
Did that orderly, he was able to treat
That's
some
right.
of my wounds a little bit?
Yeah, let's patch you up a little bit, see how it is.
Yeah, we can do, don't want to peel off any armor.
He's pretty useless.
He hasn't really accomplished anything?
He essentially did the equivalent of taking off your leather, which hurt, and then wrapping bandages around it loosely. Actually, he used about as little of his medical supplies as he possibly could, to the point of where he even put some of the paper tape on your actual burns at this point, just to make sure that it only covered so much of it. He did the bare minimum work and really didn't do much to it.
Okay.
I'd like to try out on my first aid kit.
Do you have yours with you, or did you run out?
I never ran out. I haven't needed it.
All right. Well, let's do a small sit down. It's going to take some time because he put this together, but sitting down and spending an hour on treating his burns is essentially what we're looking at here. So,
I mean, I think that's probably worthwhile.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
We can talk while you work.
go for it.
Oh, that's 5 degrees of success.
Hello.
That's because it's done with love, right?
See, that's what it is. I can feel it. Let me say this.
It's for the pain.
While you're treating my wounds, you get a good look at a lot of the tattoos that Wraith has. He's got a lot of coverage. And you see that a lot of it is sort of occult symbols and stuff that looks like it's related to sort of like Norse paganism and that kind of stuff. So there might be some things that you recognize. You know.
As you're slathering on the aloe vera, and then giving a much more generous amount of bandages with tape onto it. And the aloe vera is very soothing. And this is cut straight from the plants as part of the gardens in Osage Villa. And you've taken one of the very few sandwich baggies that are still left in this post-collapse society, and have been able to take a single leaf of aloe vera, and after cutting all the spines off, obviously, use that as a bit of a spatula in which to apply the paste. So it hurts at first putting it on, but then it's quite soothing as you apply the bandages. With 5 degrees of success, that means you could take a full 5 result off.
All right.
Great spirit.
Great spirit watching over me. Odin on my side.
Toothless Tom over here.
You need a dentist.
Some things are beyond even Great Spirit's power.
I've been doing a lot of research on frontier dentistry. You don't want to know.
I'm gonna wind up with some steel rods and nails in my gums.
Super metal, though.
Whatever.
You should definitely get a grill.
Yeah.
By the time you've fully treated and bandaged Wraith, it's late. In fact, it's definitely past curfew at this point, and Alec has encouraged you to not be out at night. In fact, to stay here at the Heisenburg Bluffs at least overnight until dawn, so that you can go back to wherever your destination is without walking the streets at night. So,
Who enforces the curfew?
Who enforces the curfew? Kamon's hand.
It's true. I mean, we want to run into them. These are the men we need to encounter anyway.
I mean, we can look for we can find these dudes can find us tonight, or we can find them tomorrow.
It's not just Kamon's hand that you need to worry about. Kamon's hand, yes, does enforce the curfew, but more, the skinwalkers. They take people in the night.
To the skin tents.
Not to the skin tents, no. The priests are the ones responsible for all the ritualistic cannibalism that we talked.
Skinwalkers is another name you use for the Shanu?
To call them Shanu would be generous. These are devil spirits that come out in the night and take our children, our women. They take anything that they feel like is easy prey for them.
But they are
Infected.
infected.
Yes, they're infected. They wear the skins of animals, though. They drape them over their hides in order to lure men into false senses of security. And even worse, I have heard stories of ones that can actually call out as a man does in order to lure him into his trap.
Do I know of these things?
Yeah, you know about the skinwalkers.
Oh, like it's a thing, yeah.
It's
okay,
a thing.
Oh, okay.
Like
right.
you're talking about like coyotes stealing people in the middle of the night?
Got it.
Skinwalkers.
So the curfew goes back even to my time.
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay.
You actually were the first to enforce the curfew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not like a fascist thing.
Right. It wasn't like he locked everybody down. Like,
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
No,
Okay,
it was for
okay.
everyone's safety.
Then we should probably respect the curfew and decide what we're going to do next and rest.
Right.
So the question I guess I'm asking is that are we going to go out and break curfew in order to engage Summerfield, or are we going to stay in Heisenburg for the night?
Stay in Heisenburg.
Rest.
For the night.
I don't know. There's only one of us got a bad habit of running around in the middle of the night, running through, or it was more middle of the afternoon, but.
Was that some of the subtle thing that you refer to as shade?
Shade, yes. That was
So while Heisenberg Bluffs certainly do not want outsiders to see the inner workings of their labs and the water treatment center, they will definitely escort you to a set of rooms in which you can freshen up and get some rest. Even believe it or not, even offering you the possibility of a hot bath if you're willing to trade for it. Chateau, you will be given one complimentary of your new position of power.
I offer it to you if you want it.
I'll take it.
I'm going to threaten the nice woman to just shut the door at the bath. Can I roll for that, for the intimidation?
Sure,
All right.
yeah.
Free bath for Ken.
While he's bullying an old woman.
Be careful. They're feisty.
Well, I guess let's just see.
How you looking on intimidation?
2
2 degrees of
failure.
Oh, young man, under no young man, you can't sass me. Shut up and take your bath.
Yes, ma'am.
Slams the door. Oh, wait a minute. Or is this actually because you wanted to get a free bath?
I wanted to get a free bath, so she said, you can't have a free bath.
Oh, that's right. You think water's free? Shut up. Shut up or jug up. Now get out of here. Smoke a cigarette. And you guys, I mean, you're obviously, this is a barter trade society. Like, if you want to barter trade, you've got survival points on which to work with. So,
I mean, him being clean benefits you.
Whatever. Just give me a cigarette.
so you go out to the front porch on the northern side of the estates that overlooks the Mississippi, and you can hear the late night cicadas chirping as you can hear the rushing sound of the river as kind of the rail tracks are laid out in front of you. So, while Jenny takes a bath.
I have that spiced rum still. I mean, I put it back in the sack when, I was told that.
Yeah, you didn't really hand it over to another.
No, I just was embarrassed and put it away.
Right.
Yeah, you
And
felt
so,
bad
I could
after.
pull it out if you guys want a bath and just be like, hey,
Drinking and bathing.
drinking and bathing. I'm just,
Lucky
if you
Jenny.
guys want, we could barter and
Lucky Jenny's earned some self-care.
okay, thanks.
Before Alec leaves us, I just want to say something to him before he goes.
So yes, as he's about, after he's essentially escorted you to your quarters and says that, Chateau, you'll be given a complimentary bath for your diplomatic services today, as he turns around.
I just say, my old friend, the years have taken so much from us. It does my heart good to see you prospering.
Yeah. It has been a long time since we first cleared out that Osage villa in order to put the first few families inside of there. It does seem like an eternity ago. There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears back then.
But brighter days lay ahead for the people of Jenningsburg.
Jenningsburg. Jenningsburg.
Jenningsburg.
After that one?
Jenningsburg.
Something I should know.
Her actions speak. She is the instrument of great spirit. It is by her wisdom and leadership that the city was liberated.
Is that great spirit talking or something else? You keep odd company, but then we all started this town together. So I'm happy to see you back here. I did not like Kamon. He got things done. But I didn't like his warmongering ways. We've come so far. I just don't want to see that undone. Just because someone craves more. So he kind of gives you a nod, but he walks away, and you can see there's a reminiscence in his mind as he walks out and thinks about times in which his hands were much dirtier than they are now.
Until next time, my friend. We'll leave it done.
As he turns and walks out, you are left to your own space. The heat, the water, and it is the rare opportunity in which it is not the cold water of a stream to actually have a little bit of care done. It does nothing for your clothes. It's actually difficult to even put them back on. They're so filthy, but at least your body is feeling pretty good. Wraith.
Yeah, I want to try to repair my compound bow.
You're gonna need a new string if you want to restring your bow.
Okay.
You know, so fixing it really isn't an option, but if you can go and get a new string, you could absolutely repair it if you needed to. It's as simple as restringing it. And You're right, there's a lot of people, bows are a common weapon inside of the community. So, that being said, Alec mentioned there is a couple of trading posts that, you know,
Here in the bluffs?
yeah, the bluffs have, I mean, every place has a little bit of an open air market, so to speak. And even though it's nighttime, you could possibly bang on some doors if it's that important to you.
I think I probably would, yeah.
All right. So are you going, either of you going with him for the trading? Or are you going to brood and smoke?
I'm brooding.
Okay. Yeah, he countershades your shade a
Yes.
little bit. So, Chato?
I'll go with Wraith.
Okay.
I do bring the hammer, though.
So as you make a late night visit to one of the lean-tos, in fact, I would probably say that it's a plaster lean-to, knock on the wooden door, which, by the way, I should tell you, has a protection symbol on the front of it. You can actually see that's a dried set of herbs are coming down onto the front of it, and there is a sigil of Kamon right on the front door, like a symbol. And you can see these herbs are basically hammered onto the front door with the sigil right underneath it.
As if it's to protect against Kamon, or it's Kamon's magical protection.
What do you think?
This deep in this fairly nice place, I'm going to say it's to keep Kamon away.
Okay. And you hear as you see a spindly old man. What do you need?
High tension polymer bowstring?
Bowstring.
More specific.
Strong bowstring.
High polymer. Plastic?
I mean, if you have
Let me
it.
see what I have. And you watch as he like slams the door, and you start hearing rustling. Cut.
That would work.
What do you have?
What are you looking for?
Tell you what. Days of food for Catgut. 1 day. Rations, MREs, dried fruit, anything. Just give me something.
That sounds fair.
You watch as he like has wrapped around his hand a spool of like a strung cat gun. He kind of holds it out,
I take it, and I start immediately expertly restringing this bow.
And he puts his hand back out again.
And we have some of that stuff on us?
Yeah, especially since we had the rations from Kamon's store, so...
Right, so
Yeah.
if you
Break 'em off some
basically
fruit.
put like a small leather pouch of dried jerky,
Yeah. I hand it over to him.
bison. Thank you, thank you. Now, good night to you both. And he watches, he kind of like shuts the door again. You've got your bow back.
Yeah.
I'm extremely excited about you having your bow back. Like, I do, like, pat the crossbow and look at you and smile. Like,
Yeah. How Wraith got his bow back.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can always come home again.
Anything else before the evening comes to a close?
When we do finally sleep, I push my bed against the door when I sleep so that, like, anybody physically coming in would have to...
Makes sense, would have to hit your cot a little
Yeah.
bit. Chato, in the middle of the night, you are vaguely aware of your cot being pushed ever so slightly before the door shuts. And that's it.
Like, I know it at the time.
Make a spot listen. Let's see how awake you were. Or if you're just vaguely aware that it happened in the midst of sleep.
4 degrees of success.
Okay. Yeah, you do feel a like just basically tap upon your cot in the middle of the night, and you sit up with a start.
Open the door.
Okay, you pull the cot out of the way and open the door. Yeah,
Knife.
as you pull out and you do see literally the last whipping of something go around the corner as one of the side passages that's along where your room's door is. Whatever it was, literally just whips around the corner last minute.
I go, Wraith! And then I pursue.
All right. I hop up and chase after.
Okay,
them.
all right.
I don't know if they hear it too, but...
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
Should we roll to see if we wake up?
yeah, all you.
Which one?
see.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm running
What
past
check
their
are we
Spot
running?
listen, I think.
Spot listen
try to
check?
shake them
Yeah,
away.
well, you got to do the same as
Yeah,
well
see
too.
if
Like
you
all
got
you,
it.
all you wake up.
Oh yeah, I woke up from that.
Do I have to roll to wake up?
Yeah,
or-
I mean, he said Wraith,
Oh,
but
you're
all
right.
of you,
Okay.
Right.
all of you are like, let's see how
You
groggy
might
it
have been,
is.
you might have been back in
3
Scandinavia.
degrees of success.
What am I rolling against?
Spot listen.
Spot listen. I have 3 degrees of success.
3 degrees of success. Success.
Dead ass asleep.
He got it with it.
Didn't wake up to shit. He snuck a hit of the sacrament before he went to bed. He is out.
You're also basically dealing with toothache
Yes.
pain at this moment.
Yes.
So you say
Yeah.
Wraith as you're up and you're hopped over your cot. You're around the corner. Jenny and Wraith are not far behind you. As you run around the corner, you see a hooded man who is just booked down the. Stop. You know.
Chasing, but, you know.
Yeah, he's as you like hard whisper stop.
Yeah.
As he watches, he kind of runs out the back of the estate building into the garden. So.
Could I have tried to get a shot off before he...
Yeah, go for it.
I'm just trying to shoot him like in the leg or something.
You want to just
It's
a love arrow.
I'm not gonna seek on this guy or any of that sort of stuff.
okay. You just try to maim him a little bit.
Just slow him down. Just hamstring him. He was trying to break into our room.
So here's the deal. It's dark. He's got a dark cloak on. So you're gonna roll it with 2 difficulty dice.
Okay. Okay. That is probably gonna be some failures from me, actually. All right. So let's see. 87 plus 9, 96 is the total of my roll there. Hey, I just restrung the bow. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
a little out of practice.
It's stiff.
It's a wild shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is actually only 3 degrees of failure
Okay.
for me.
Well, let me roll depletion for it. Oof. Okay. Oh! You watch as you pull the bow back and you let it soar through, and as it goes into the darkness of the garden, you watch as he kind of ducks behind one of the fruit trees, and you watch as it basically hits the tree and shatters. The arrow just kind of like breaks apart into multiple pieces as he starts running along the side of the estate building. Whoever has both of their hands along the side of either their hood, and they're just trying to double time it to get out of the way.
I mean, I'm pretty fast. Is there any way I can roll to like just
If you want to
catch
tackle
up to him and tackle him?
Endurance, yeah.
Okay.
I believe in you.
Cool. I tackled him. 2 degrees of success.
All
I don't know.
right.
Hopefully.
So, how this is, you basically are just running full sprint. And, you know, Jenny's light, Jenny's got a lot of stamina. She's been doing a lot of running, but this one seems to just be keeping pace with you. While you've managed to basically get a little bit of ground on it, you have both covered quite a bit of distance before we'd have to do this again.
Is there any way I can try to maneuver around and try to cut them off while she's chasing?
Well, you could gain a little bit by going diagonally down the hill the same way that they were going. But, if you want to make the same endurance check that she did, the problem is that you just fired an arrow.
So
I've been running the whole time. I'd like to try.
Yeah, I'll allow you to try it.
1 degree of success.
Okay, so unfortunately, comparably to theirs, you are not completely left in the dust. But right now, Jenny's the one who's actually keeping pace with them.
Haven't quite recovered.
So, are we going to keep pursuit?
I kind of want to keep pursuing now that we're out here doing
Great.
it.
Pursue him, but do not leave the safety of this compound. It
Yeah,
could be
don't-
trying to
don't
draw us
leave
out
the
in a trap.
compound. Very much could be a trap, yeah.
But
I'm
maybe just one more time. Maybe one more. One more.
One more round.
One
Jenny
more.
pressing her luck.
All right, go
you
for it.
know.
All right, lucky Jenny.
Okay,
Go for it.
I'm gonna try as well.
16. So that's 5 degrees, or yeah.
I get dusted. I'm clearly not recovered from what happened to me. I'm like,
5 degrees of success.
Good, because I got 5 degrees of failure.
oh, well, yeah,
That's what we
yeah,
needed.
Right. Yeah,
All right.
that is what
Yeah.
we needed.
So why don't you narrate for me how you tackle this thing down to the ground, and then I'll tell you exactly what you found.
All right. So I don't want to leave this compound either. And so I just push myself so hard, and I can feel the tightness in my chest, but I'm just like, I can feel my legs just, it almost feels like I'm leaving the ground, and I just launch myself and get him around the waist, and we just like roll. And I land on top of him, and I just stick my arm right up against his throat.
Perfect. So you've essentially pinned it and
Yeah.
ground it.
I assume we catch up shortly
Yep,
thereafter.
catch up shortly thereafter. And from this hooded figure, you can start to hear a sound.
Did I just pin a skinwalker? What?
Yeah.
Dude, what?
When I get there, I put my knife to the throat and pull the hood back. And I say, we mean you no harm.
And you see these like cloudless eyes as it stares up inside of you as it has this cloak over it. And at that moment, you are intently aware of other bodies that are around you.
Fuck.
All right, so we have our encounter here, courtesy of a few amazing people. First, I would like to thank Broken Egg Games for this battle mat with a couple of polyurethane pieces, terrain pieces, that are going to be featured on our impromptu encounter here. Also, these buildings, including our van down by the river, is courtesy of Miniature Building Authority. It's also probably time for my transparency to come through and pay up for our little encounter here at the moment. So you'll be delighted to know that I'm spending 10 risk
It's fine.
to put this whole thing together.
This is fine.
This is fun.
This is fine.
This is fine. Everything's fine.
And there's actually fire. So literally, this is fine.
On the other side of the river, right.
I'm going to pull my knife away and say, creature, we mean you no harm, and move back from it.
So I'll only take a speed of 1, no dice necessary.
Okay.
Jenny?
I immediately realize what's going on, and I just want to jump back, but pull
Jump
out
away.
my machete. I don't want to attack, but I just want to
So
jump back.
5-foot step away?
Yeah.
Okay.
How many dice?
Push off.
Okay. So you are also 1 dice.
You said no roll for me, though?
No roll for you.
All right. Okay.
You're just using words.
Right. Words can hurt, though.
Wraith.
I'm going to pull out an arrow, and I'm going to pull my bow, but I'm going to keep it down.
Okay. So composure roll, please.
Yeah.
It's the dead of night.
That's good. I got a 5, and my composure's 38, so that's 3 degrees of success.
Whew. All right. Well, not only will you absolutely be able to hold with a trigger, for sure, but I'm going to say that you're going to get the benefits of aiming as well, too, if you
Okay.
decide to shoot.
If I do decide to shoot.
Yeah. So eventually you get 2 degrees of success that you could use to basically get a free degree of success if and when you fire.
Okay.
All right. So you're banking 2. Great. And then that's your composure If you wouldn't mind, so that I think it's just you're holding your place, so just this 1 speed dice for you as well too. You're all quick
Okay.
drawing, so roll it please, so I can know when this goes off for you too.
2.
Okay, great. Jenny, as you are pushing this thing down, and you've heard the words, and you look up to see this form that is on the other side of the tracks, you are aware of the sounds of the rushing Missouri, which is within earshot. Very, very close. It's difficult to see. The darkness of night is basically making it so you really can only see about 30 to 40 feet in a radius around you. You're vaguely aware of a set of small ramshackle buildings that are on the upper terrace. As you heard him from the other side of the tracks, you heard an infected screech as you saw it leap over the track as you basically took your knife off and said, I mean no harm. Jenny, you will resolve. When was your speed? 3. So this thing will resolve at the same time Wraith does. And you watch as that creature leaps onto Jenny.
I'm shooting it.
Okay. Well, you're resolving at the same time.
This is the Skinwalker one?
This is that one with the wolf and cowl. You spoke, you said, creature, we mean no harm. As this thing leaps through the air, it jumps over his friend.
And onto Jenny.
And onto Jenny.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Even though I was aiming and composed, I don't get a shot
it'll
off
happen
before?
at the same time.
Simultaneous.
So you're gonna
Okay.
shoot at this thing,
Yeah.
basically while it's in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you are welcome to roll and resolve your attacks, including your 2 extra degrees of success.
Okay.
Murder.
That's a 33.
Jenny will go literally
bow
right
is-
after with a 3.
Okay, so from that I get 2 degrees of success.
You also get your extra 2 that you banked with your composure, your excellent composure roll.
Okay, so that's a total of 4. Mm-hmm. The bow card I have says with 4 I can buy a headshot.
All right, which will ignore its defense.
So yeah, I'm gonna try to shoot it in the head.
Okay.
So that is 4 damage dice. Seek. If ever was there a time, now is the seeking time. All right, so I got 4, 8, 13, and then it exploded. 13, 16 points of damage.
16 points of damage.
With no defense. Yeah.
No defense. So what happens is this thing leaps through the air, an arrow, and lands right into the side of its head. And as its talons are about to come down onto you, instead, it just is like dropping a 180-pound body right on top of you at one single moment, and it knocks all of the wind out of you.
Well, there's still another one underneath you.
I know, but we'll
But it's on
see.
its belly underneath you, so that's at least that's something.
Jenny, you get to go next.
All right, so I'm pinned on the ground or pinned on top of the other.
You are
Skinwalker.
sandwiched between the skinwalker and the ground at the moment, and this thing is
Machete, baby.
on you. You know? So it's gonna take a lift pull just to take this damn thing off of you at the moment.
Okay, well, yeah, lift pull. Then.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Go for it.
Okay, yeah, that's 1 failure.
1 failure?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a success. You just pulled a
When you
success.
pull that.
Oh,
So whether from sheer tear or just from just dead weight on top of you, there's no way you're getting this thing off of you this round. So unless you would like to narrate something else for me.
no, I think the wind has just been completely knocked out
Right.
of me. And yeah.
As it's down. All right, the second skinwalker will go now. That one, which had been rolling up along the ground, had turned around and basically flipped itself up, turning to the side, and it's going to make a grab towards Chato at the moment. Okay. Also a degree of success.
So what am I dodge? That is 1 degree of failure, but can I spend competence?
If you can spend a single competence in order to get to the failure,
That'll be a push.
still going to have a damage though.
Okay.
But non-viral.
No, he has to spend another one to make it non-viral.
Okay.
Oh,
So he needs at least 1 degree of success to counter his degree of success.
spend it. So I spend 2 competence?
Yes.
I'll spend them both.
All right.
Send it.
Yeah.
Spend it.
Yeah. It's fine.
Take 1.
It's fine.
So it more shoulder bumps you.
I have armor that blocks one?
Oh, well, then it does nothing.
Yeah.
So it swipes at you and more leans its weight into your shoulder as the padded leather of Kamon just into it. You hear this other scream as this one, who is currently in a failed fist fight between you at the moment, turning and facing you. As you hear another one, and also leaps on top of you. And it fails miserably.
Oh. You can't touch Big
miserably
Choctaw.
on me? Yeah,
You
okay.
can't touch Big Choctaw.
Does it, please?
I'll spend one
Yeah.
to basically have it so that it falls short.
Okay.
One, it essentially overbalances and falls down to the ground.
Okay.
All right? So, as it kind of lands a couple of feet away. And then the third one is I'll basically give it an extra speed dice so that it goes later in the round next turn.
Okay.
Intent.
I'm gonna try and get out from underneath this thing. So another lift pull.
Lift pull at 2 speed, please.
Hatchet on the prone one.
Hatchet on the prone one? Mm-hmm. All right, let me roll the prone one's speed. And then Wraith.
I am going to try to use another bow shot to take out the one that stumbled a bit after missing.
So the same one that he's trying to coup de grace.
Oh no! I mean,
I'm engaged with 2 currently. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. One is in front of you who just shoulder bumped you.
Right.
And the other one, which is that running one right in front, fell short of its leap and basically
I think that running one is the one I want to shoot for.
Okay, you
that
wanna
seems
go
like
for
the
that
most
one.
present threat.
So
yeah.
Jenny's getting up at 2 speed and you're facing off against yours at 5. Okay.
Do you want me to do lift pull check again?
I do when it's
Okay.
time to roll. So right now,
Just speed.
I'm just wanting to get everybody's. Ooh, okay. So yeah, so I just wanted to roll
Speed.
everybody's speed,
Okay.
just to find out when things are resolving.
Just the speed on its own.
Yeah, I mean, normally not. You want to
Okay.
roll it all together, but it's okay because now I'll just go down the order and have everyone.
I'm a
resolve.
3.
You're a 3. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then how about you, Jenny?
10.
10. Okay. So the first skinwalker, the one that's facing you, Chato, that is going to get up first. So it's going to turn itself around, and after taking this body slam, you watch as it rears its head back and goes for full swipe. It basically tries to get its hands around your neck to squeeze the life out of you.
Okay.
And rolls 4 degrees of failure.
These skinwalkers are smart.
This fight isn't over. Don't get sassy.
Yeah.
Rolls 4 degrees of failure, which basically means that you can use these against it in your next attack. Wraith's up first.
Sure.
Okay. So yeah, I'm taking a shot at the runner who tumbled.
Tumbled. Another bow shot.
Another bow shot. That adds another 6 to it, so I'm actually now at 9.
Yeah.
That is enough for me to rend with my knife.
Okay.
So can I just take that and not roll? Because I don't necessarily want to risk getting failure.
Always have to roll.
Okay, cool.
There's always a chance of
Do you want to do
failure.
something that bloody?
I mean, this is where we are. So I got 2 over here.
Plus
and I
4
already
here.
had 4.
All right.
And I'm gonna go ahead and use the other 2 successes for 6 damage because I want to make sure this thing is dead.
Okay. Roll 6 damage.
Or, I'll spend 5 and I'll keep 1 in the hole just in case I gotta like dodge or juke or jive or something.
All right.
So I guess let me keep that. This is the unspent success.
Unspent. So 3 to rend and 1 for an additional damage.
Yes, sir. That's all right.
Explode.
1 explodes, so 2, 4, 6, 11, 12, 13. Can I spend this now? I declared it, but it.
You could spend that last one.
Yeah,
if you
I'm
want.
gonna make extra sure. So 13, 17.
Explain to me its grisly demise.
So it comes in claws, and I duck under and knife up straight up to its chin, and then rip it back out again and drop it.
It doesn't even utter a sound
Yeah.
as it lumps flawlessly, and you have a little bit of blood on your hand as you shake it off and clean the knife.
I'm gonna run to the river when this is over.
Take me to the river.
Exactly. We're gonna
Dunk me in the water.
exactly.
Wash me down.
Right.
Wash me down.
Take my chances with the aquatic canoe when this is all done. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And
So,
now
There's one that is still alive.
there's one that is still alive, and
Okay.
that one is
now.
up now.
Right.
So, shot those done. The second and last skinwalker is still prone on the floor. It's rolled its speed, but it's going to scramble up, and Jenny's underneath the body of one. Chato is right behind it, but Wraith's in front.
Said we mean you no harm, creature.
Right. So,
No.
4 degrees of success. So, here's what's going to happen. I have to spend 1 to get up. I have to spend another to close the distance. This is going to leave me 2 to roll against you,
Damage-wise?
damage-wise.
Okay.
And, as we discussed, you get a reaction to see if you can dodge.
Okay. Here we go.
Have you spent your competence yet?
I haven't. All right, that's a 13 on my, and then my dodge is better than that, but let me find where it is exactly. Okay, that's 4 degrees of success on my dodge.
You get the blunt damage,
Huh?
the non-viral damage, just as everything else.
All right.
8.
Okay.
So this is going to hurt. I would like to have your help, unless you would like me to describe just how you take this non-virally.
Okay. So yeah, it lunges for me.
Right.
And then it tries to swipe at me.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not going to be able to get totally out of the way out of this in time.
Yeah.
So I tuck my my arm under its arm and try to whip it around. But
like this.
But in the process of doing so, I do take some impact from its body.
See, that's perfect. We can resolve more of your dodge in this way, to where maybe even if you don't mind me elaborating, as it's leaping on you, you can't get out of the way, but basically you do like a back fall and you use your legs to throw it up over you.
Yeah.
So that it's prone behind you. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, both of you land on a small concrete wall. You basically hit your back on a rock really bad.
Oh, that's why I take the damage? Okay.
Yeah, that's why you take the damage. Not from the infected itself, but from landing onto hard stone.
Okay.
All right? So you've marked your other 5 on there?
That's another 5 right there?
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
5 total, though, right?
He had
Well,
5 left
I
over.
still had 5 left over from Burns
right.
earlier.
So he has 2 5 pips.
I have 2 5 pips on me.
But this thing is now not only prone, but you flipped it over a bush at this point.
Yeah.
You hear the ruffle of the grass as it just thwacked on the other side, and you can feel the pain in your back as you basically landed on a bit of rock yourself. But it's now your turn.
All right. I want to carefully get to my feet while I turn in the direction looking where I just threw it.
Through the bush, yes.
Yeah. And then I want to try to back up in a defensive posture with my. I've still got the bow in one hand, but I'm going to pull the sword
Got
with my
it.
other and sort of back up
Yeah.
carefully so that my back is only to them.
All right, so you want to back up and just wait to see what this thing does.
See if it tries to, jump over the bush again at me or what.
All right.
As I regroup with them.
So you've regrouped with the crew.
Wait, I didn't roll my getting that thing off of me.
Good, because it's your turn
Oh, okay.
to get that thing off
Cool,
of
I
you.
just want to make sure it happens.
Excellent idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
It is time to get that thing off of you.
Okay. Cool. I got it off of me. 4
Yeah.
degrees.
4
of
degrees of success. Excellent. So with 1, you can get it off of you. And at this point, I think, if you don't mind, I'm just probably going to give survival points for the leftovers, if that's okay.
Yeah. That sounds good.
We'll do a 1-for-1 exchange on this and take you guys to 35. So extra 3 survival points. Basically, you as you are pushing this thing off of you, you notice that whatever this boar hide that has on top of it would probably be a pretty good tradable commodity.
Cool. I snagged that.
And you just maybe just tuck that in,
Yeah.
throw it over your shoulder.
Don't tell anyone where it came from.
So
I'm leaving that arrow. I don't want it. It's got it's got an infected cooties
We got
on it.
chlorine
Yeah.
back at, what's it called? Heisenburg?
It's an arrow, so
All right.
Yeah.
I'm good.
So that ends our round, and now we basically can resolve. So what would you like to do? Your intent?
I want to go, actually. Like,
Yeah,
let's go.
let's go back.
Let's go.
Let's form a protective triangle and try to work
Oh,
our
are you
way
guys
back.
making a formation?
Yeah.
All right. So, formation. And this is kind of a standard formation. You guys are just covering each other. You know, for this formation, we'll basically say you get a guaranteed 1 degree of success on spot listen checks, since you're all basically watching each other's back so that ambushes are not as likely. And you all get the hell out of Dodge.
Yep. Gun in one hand, axe in the other. Like,
So as you move double back, you hear a little bit of rustling in the bushes where you dropped off that skinwalker on the other side, but you don't see or peer. You feel like maybe there's something following you, but this thing hasn't taken the chance to pounce out of any particular direction. And as you're moving forward, you actually stumble upon something.
shoot it.
Who's going to whose point? You have the formation, so you're gonna not fall into this thing, but
Would it be like a spot listen? If
yeah, it'd be a
whoever-
spot listen.
And
Which we already have an advantage. We already get a free success on that.
Yes,
I
you
have
do.
72.
Oh, you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll be point.
Yeah. So, Chateau, as you are moving forward, trying to come out, you see a very distinct mound of something laid out in front of you, and that very familiar scent of death wafts over you briefly as you walk by a pile of bones and gore. And you can tell vaguely as you're walking around it, making sure not to fall into it, but around it. But you have found the skinwalker's nest, so to speak.
Make a note and keep rolling.
Well, you do make it back to the bluffs, and you do see as like a man who is still standing guard at the gate turns to the three of you and goes, "What the hell was that? Who was that just ran out that you were chasing after?"
I don't know. We didn't catch them. Thief of some sort.
Someone who you let in.
"I didn't see anybody go in at all."
Are you sure?
Oh yeah.
Can I make some sort of check to try to see if
Sense motive.
yeah,
Sense motive.
which I'm not great at, but you know, I gotta try. These creatures snuck in looking for us.
Yes.
Or someone let them in.
Yes. Or sent them after us expressly.
Okay. Oh boy, that is 5 degrees of failure for me.
All right.
I just
Seems legit.
What are you implying, sir? That I'm not good at my job? And you hear as he starts raising his voice and he starts getting louder and louder. It's like, how dare you? How dare you assume that I would let someone inside of our estate?
Are you sure that you wish to cause a scene when someone has breached the compound on your watch?
I'm damn well sure, because I don't have anything to hide.
Well, wake up,
The way
everyone.
you are reacting is very suspicious.
Do you know who I am? Wake up, everyone.
You pulling the "Do you know who I am" card?
If not now, when? You know, I kind of had a tough day. Okay, it's been a week. It's been a week.
Yeah. Look.
Someone needs to go wake up Kent.
He kind of like takes his voice down a little bit, but he's still pissed. He's like, "I don't care if you're Kamon or Chato or anyone else in here. I take pride in my job, and I don't let anyone tell me otherwise." And you kind of watch as he like puts his arms around his chest and then opens the door and goes, "Sirs, lady."
I just point back towards the river and I say, "We lost them somewhere down there. Keep a sharp eye."
"Great. Thanks for your concern."
Yeah, go on in. And I lean to you guys and I say, "Nobody tell Kent."
As you guys get back to your room, you can see Kent is still snoring away.
I wake up.
We went on a taco run. You missed it.
True.
I have no idea that any of this has transpired.
But you heard there was tacos.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, real funny. Yeah, no chief, no taco. Yeah, all right. Kind of give him a little, yeah, and then just pass back out. So.
Are you all going to go try to go back to sleep and get the rest of the night done, or are you all on edge at this
Roughly
moment?
what time is it?
It is nearly dawn. It's about 4 a.m.
I've got insomnia, so I think I'm pretty much up.
So I don't think you guys are going to get a full rest out of this because you got woken up in the middle of the night and almost died several times. But I think a short rest constitutes, so you can remove any damage dice that are at least below your strength bonus, and I think we can clear this out a little bit, so.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
So after a fairly restless rest of the evening, except for Kent, who sleeps well, you wake up with the dawn as the third day of the new regime of Heisenburg is now upon you. And you have a simple breakfast with the rest of the Heisenburg folk. It's a little bit of a awkward breakfast since you're kind of on the off end of the table. But you are surprised in which you are invited down to breakfast. And you essentially have a full kind of buffet-style meal laid out in front of you with veggies, fruits, even a little bit of egg and cheese.
Chato, observe how the people here interact. There may be some sort of conspiracy against us. I don't know if Alec knows about it. You are a better judge of character than I. But I don't see why that creature would come in to lure us out specifically.
Creature?
Yeah, what I said about the tacos earlier was a lie. We fought some infected.
No tacos?
No, sorry, no tacos.
No tacos? Chato,
Speaking of which, are you going to eat that cantaloupe? Thank you.
no tacos?
Thankfully, no one overhears you as you're talking about fighting infected in the middle of the night. But you finish your breakfast and I guess move on with your day. Because at this point it's early in the morning, unless there is more business you'd like to have at Heisenburg.
No, I don't tell anybody because it doesn't serve us to let Corell know that not only are infected in the streets, they're in his place. So
Right.
no.
In
So-
his sheets and his streets.
As we're moving,
Sorry.
you're not though.
You're right, I'm not.
You do hear as you're leaving, though, the sounds of crying as people seem to be comforting a young woman who seems to be drowning in tears in the middle of the breakfast morning, and you can see that they're talking to her, and they seem to just be providing comforting words as she is just crying into her napkin at the moment.
I go over to her.
You go over to her? Chato? Oh, God. They exiled you.
They tried.
Chato. And she, like, grabs a hold of your collar and pulls you down closer. It's like, they're back. They're back. They took him. They took Dave. And she just loses it as she just, like, cries into you. I know it's not supposed to matter. I know it's supposed to be okay. But he just was gone.
How do you know they took him?
And she kind of like gets up and walks you to her room. And very distinctly, you can see a trail of blood leading out from their room, leading out to one of the other doors, and through an opened window that seems to have been discreetly lifted open in the middle of the night.
But they took him and left you.
Why? Why did they leave me and take him? Why, Chato? Is Great Spirit that fickle to take a husband and leave his wife in sorrow?
I can't answer that. I can only say that for whatever reason, your time is not up yet. But we will get to the bottom of this. I would make a request of you. Tell Corell what happened, but then no one else. It won't do to have panic sweep through this place.
How? I mean, the blood.
I
The blood, Chato. How am I supposed to hide the blood?
speak to Corell. He will see that it is taken care of.
You watch as she goes over to her friends who are continually asking, what's wrong, what's wrong? And supposedly, you leave the scene for what it is. And as you're leaving, you hear a few more screams come out as it appears others are waking up to find similar surprises.
What is going on? What happened to her?
It was the creatures. It seems they take some people but leave others. They have some sort of preference.
Oh, it also means perhaps I was overly suspicious and that they were not targeting us specifically.
As you walk out, where you're heading to the
Osage Villa.
Osage Villa. You make the short walk, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, to get back to the Osage Villa. And at this point, you can actually see that some people are walking out of the villa, checking on the gardens.
There's something I want to talk with them about on the way, if we might.
Please.
I got a report yesterday that there was some conflict at Osage Villa. There were 6 followers of Kamon that apparently were destroyed. This may be a friendly place for us.
We were there before it started. We were only 3 then. We didn't know. We chose not to enter. So in a way, we are partly responsible for those lives.
Women, children, atrocities. Some of us wanted to help, and some of us made the decision to stick together as a team, regardless of what others wanted.
If one of us is killed or injured, think about how many more that we could potentially save.
So it's
will
okay when
suffer.
you want to run off on your own damn crusade?
Those people are my family.
Those people in there
I
had
thought you
family.
were too.
Those people had
And-
family.
Stop. Stop. We don't have time to distrust each other. We don't have time. We distrust everyone else. We need to set that aside. Please.
You got it.
Thank you.
Wraith extends his hand out to Kent.
You guys come to the backside of the gardens of Osage Villa, and you can see that whether out of routine or just hopefulness that all of the violence and chaos has passed, you can see that there are some people now out tending the gardens, checking for weeds, pests, and doing the morning watering. They kind of lift their head up and look as you all slowly walk by and make your way towards the newly claimed Zugret. That is the Osage Villa, which is the old IRS building.
Every citizen, I greet them. Like, if they look at me, I at least,
Acknowledge them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can see that even rickshaws are starting to kind of come out as people are coming and going between different vendors that are now starting to set up. In fact, some of them seem to be heading south along the cleared freeway, heading toward what you know as the Stonebridge district. So,
I lean over towards Jenny and I say, so far you've only seen the worst of our city, but it can be quite nice when at peace and running properly.
Yeah. It went from like a dingy shithole to like a mediocre shithole.
as you come across to the back of Osage Villa, you can see the similar sheet metal grate with, I don't want to say textured paint, but at least something to make it not look so much like sheet metal, so to speak, is painted over it. And you can see the gates are opened as you see a few farmers literally chasing chickens out into the middle of the area and kind of taking them to various pens, short fenced pens that are lined all across the side of the villa. And you see as men and women look at you, just staring as you enter into the building.
Do I happen to notice if they're staring at me or staring at them?
Staring at all of you. You, first of all.
Right.
These, just as much. It's not a small town, but, you know, you definitely all stick out as far as people who they've never seen before.
But what if I put up my hood of stealth?
Then you're
Grieving
just
Italian
extra
widow rape.
spooky.
Look at me.
Yep.
Ooh, look at that shade.
That's right.
We made it, what, 5 episodes before Grieving Italian Widow Wraith
Before
appeared?
Grieving Italian Widow returns.
So, Wraith, as you pull your hood up to make it even darker as you walk into the darkness, you step into a open area that is the main open market of Osage Villa. but the market looks similar to what you would expect, like the bazaars of like Eastern European countries, in which there are these simple lean-tos with cloth and poles laid down as the open market leading from outside into the main steps of the IRS building are just lined with stalls. As you can see, people are milling about, pushing carts and starting to set up the wares for the day. You distinctly smell cured meat. In addition to, you can even catch the waft of cooking.
Who speaks for Osage Villa?
Your booming voice is surprisingly drowned out by the hustle and bustle of the villa enterprise and commerce that's kind of running around. But if you turn to you and go, Chato, Chato, Chato. Oh, well. And your one man turns to you and goes, sir, the governor always speaks for Osage Villa. He has and he always will.
Where might I locate him?
Where he always is, in his stall.
His stall?
So
Do I know?
You know. You know, the governor has, he has a stall on the ground floor with everybody else's. It's moderately bigger than some of the others. You could say that he has an island stall in comparison.
Prime location.
Prime location.
Before we approach the governor's stall, I look at you all and say, did anything happen yesterday by which this man would be owed an apology?
Yes. We left. As Wraith said, it was just the three of us, and I made the call. I wasn't sure what was going on inside. I wasn't sure who was winning, and it just didn't seem smart to stick around.
We were asked to come into a place we didn't know, where at least 6 enemies were there.
We were asked to help by people who were dying, and we let them down.
And as Kent makes this final declaration, he says this primarily because you watch as several men are carrying a cart, and you can see as the wrapped sheets of bodies have been laid over, and red blood spots kind of lay over it, and you can see that several bodies have been stacked onto the cart and are now being carried out of the main road.
Jenny turns or walks to Wraith, and I mean she's feeling pretty ashamed, and she doesn't want to face this governor, and so she goes to Wraith and says, "Where was that bungalow? Where that was it? Doc? Where?"
Yeah.
Doc has essentially a room that would be on the fifth floor of the IRS building.
Oh, so
Do you think we need to talk to this governor first, or should we start our investigation?
I put my hand on both of your shoulders and I say, every single one of us has made decisions we weren't proud of to make it this far. All we can do is try and make better ones next time.
When you say that, like, it's obvious that Wraith has like a super guilty look on his face.
It even hits home with Kent. Even Kent's listening to Chato's words, just kind of letting him sink in.
And I go to the governor. Like, I don't say anything else about it. Then I just go to the governor's stall.
So as you kind of make a couple of twists and turns, you can tell that these big open bullpens that were once part of, an open lounge area have essentially been stripped and pulled out. All of the furniture, all of the temporary walls, all of it has been reformed and reshaped to create this kind of open air market, even though it's inside of a building. You walk through and you see a delightful bazaar that has a leather-hewn stretched across a frame. Freddie Govman's eclectic bazaar of atrocities. And you kind of walk into this antique store and you can smell fresh incense as it's kind of being burnt out, and it has this very exotic smell that is canceling out all of the fishmongering and food and just the stench of man enclosed into a single space. It's different. And you get into a private office with various curiosities. You can see mason jars filled with various specimens. You see a woman laid out on a cot with his sheet pulled up to his chin, and another man leaning over with his head against his fist as he's staring over it. And as he turns, you can see that his other arm has been rolled up to a stump that now exists where his right arm once was. He looks up to you, and with a stoicism in his eyes that is not familiar to who you know as the Gov Man, looks at you and says, "You fucked up, Chato. You fucked up real bad."